3.
Making new traditions, homemade pasta,
Cheers to us!
and an ice cold Coke. That's my recipe for magic.
If you've had thyroid eye disease for years and the bags under your eyes are looking more like purses, it's not too late for another treatment option. To learn more, visit treatted.com. That's treat.com.
Tomorrow on E.T., Arnold Schwarzenegger reveals his biggest life regrets.
Daddy, where were you when I had my recital?
New documentary secrets and how art is imitating life in his upcoming TV debut.
My daughters were very challenging.
Now, there's one last thing we want to show you before we go.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
You're a phoenix, baby.
I don't get up before 11.
There's some new TV to watch Wednesdays on Apple TV+. High Desert follows an on-again, off-again addict, Patricia Arquette, who becomes a private investigator. The series is kind of like 6 Degrees of Ben Stiller. He's executive producing this.
Happening now.
The Bobby Solis murder trial continues in the 399th District Court. Today, the jury's seeing the possible murder weapon. Take you inside the courtroom coming up.
Plus, how teddy bears are teaching youngsters how to perform CPR. It's true. It's playing out in one community, and we'll tell you about it next.
Nothing on the radar right now, but that's likely to change in the days ahead. We'll be back to talk about when the storm chances return in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
A jail phone call and the possible murder weapon, all a part of the evidence that was shown to a jury today in the trial of a man accused of a 2020 deadly shooting. Bobby Solis is charged with the murder of John Eric Garcia, who was found in the parking lot of a West Side apartment complex.
Eric Hernandez breaks down how that potential murder weapon was found more than 2 years after the crime.
They're painting the ugly picture, right?
A jail phone call from Bobby Solis to an unidentified woman made earlier this year was part of evidence Wednesday that the state presented in court.
They're trying to say that it was an execution, is what they're trying to go by, because he was shot behind the head.
Solis is charged in the murder of 35-year-old John Eric Garcia, who was found shot to death in the 1100 block of Callahan Road. Another piece of evidence the jury saw was the possible murder weapon. This .40 caliber gun wasn't found on Solis, but found earlier this year as it was thrown out of a vehicle right before police moved in to arrest a suspect wanted for murder. The two cases unrelated.
To your knowledge, is there any relationship between that murder and this murder, to your knowledge?
No, ma'am.
Testimony will continue tomorrow in this case, and if the state rests, then it will be going to the jury for deliberations. If found guilty, Solis is facing up to life in prison. At the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
New at 5, a 40-year-old man facing a felony charge for allegedly sexually assaulting a teenage girl. According to San Antonio Police, Gilberto Garza III answered a sexually explicit ad that was posted on a social networking site. The alleged victim says that she was taken to an apartment complex to meet Garza. Investigators say that's where the sexual assault happened, and then Garza allegedly gave the victim money. According to the affidavit, Garza then sent her more money through Cash App. Investigators later identified Garza as the suspect after looking through the teen's cell phone. They arrested him yesterday, and now he's charged with child trafficking. His bond is now set at $150,000.
Possible trespassers may be to blame for a house catching fire early this morning north of downtown. Just after 6 a.m., San Antonio firefighters called to this vacant home on West Poplar Street near San Pedro Avenue. Crews located the fire on the second floor. They were able to knock it out. The home, we're told, is nearly a century old. It was supposed to be empty, but firefighters and a neighbor say despite the home building being boarded up, it appears someone still managed to get inside, and that's how this fire started.
Those, there's food items, so we do believe that people were squatting in this structure.
They crawl out the drain pipe, go to the second-story window, and come back down and open the back door.
No suspects have been arrested. Firefighters still investigating the incident.
Fire investigators also looking into yet another fire that broke out last night in the 100 block of Clovis Place. That's off of Pleasanton Road on the south side. When firefighters got there, flames were spewing out of a home's front windows. They put that fire out, but it did leave a lot of damage because whomever lived there is going to have to find another place to stay.
All right, it may sound odd, CPR on teddy bears. Well, that's what kindergartners are learning at Menchaca Early Childhood Learning Center on the city's south side. That campus, the nurse there says the lesson could make a life-saving difference for families that don't live close to hospitals. Our Camelia Juarez tells us how the age-appropriate demonstration is empowering these youngsters in case of an emergency.
Baby shark, baby shark,
a silly song, a soft toy, and a potentially life-saving lesson. The beat of Baby Shark is the pace to provide CPR to someone. That's what Nurse Heather Seibert is demonstrating to all 300 kindergartners at Menchaca Early Learning Center.
What number do we call for an emergency? 911.
Using a teddy bear makes a serious conversation into a light one.
They feel like they're at least doing something to help. They're not feeling helpless, they're feeling empowered.
Although a 5-year-old may not effectively be able to save someone's life, Seibert says the lesson could keep a child calm.
They're less likely to panic, they're less likely to start crying, they're less likely to be scared when EMS does show up.
Students can even show their parents what they've learned. Menchaca Elementary is on the far south side where the closest hospital or emergency room is at least 15 to 30 minutes away. Seibert says every minute matters and any child at any age can make that difference.
Any sort of way to help themselves can be the difference between life and death. So it is really important in this area where our resources are so few and far between.
Students received a teddy bear, a workbook, and a first aid kit, all thanks to the Southside Education Foundation grant. Right now, Seaburg is looking for additional grant funding so she can do this next year. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
An important lesson. By the way, very busy day in the Spurs sales office after the team won the NBA draft lottery and the rights to draft French superstar Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs sales staff has been working around the clock since last night, answering hundreds of phone calls and requests from fans who are interested in buying season tickets. Spurs officials tell us that they've already have more than 2,000 potential new season ticket buyers, and the list is just growing by the hour. In fact, they expect record-breaking numbers by the time people select their seats for next season.
We're here till midnight last night, working the phones and making sure people's deposits, the website was working properly, all of that to get in. I think we're projecting by the end of today, so a full 24 hours, we'll have over 2,500 deposits.
All right. The Spurs say that people interested in season tickets can put down a deposit and will get a chance to pick their seats either this Saturday or next Thursday. And you can check their website for more information. Good luck.
Across America, an appeals court in the Big Easy hearing arguments on a topic that is anything but easy. Anti-abortion activists asking a 3-judge panel to pull the abortion drug mifepristone off the market nationwide, including in states where the procedure is still legal. The judges sit on the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans. That's a court that is considered one of the most conservative courts in the country. Federal judges have already issued rival rulings on mifepristone this year. In this particular case, a lower court ruled the government broke the law in how it approved the drug more than 2 decades ago. The judge's decision will likely set the stage for how the Supreme Court will eventually approach this legal dispute.
The paparazzi being accused of chasing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle through the streets of New York last night. According to a statement from Harry and Meghan's spokesperson, it happened after Meghan was honored at the Women of Vision Awards and allegedly lasted more than 2 hours. Harry's team said that it involved half a dozen blacked out vehicles with unidentified people driving recklessly while on the phone, taking pictures, driving on the sidewalk, running red lights. Remember, this happened in New York City. They say the chase had multiple near collisions and was, quote, near catastrophic. There's even evidence and security footage of it, but thankfully nobody was hurt.
Some of the nation's bravest at the White House today to receive a special honor from President Joe Biden. In a ceremony in the East Room, the president presented the Medal of Valor to 9 public safety officers. The Medal of Valor is the highest national award for first responders. This year, a New York City fire lieutenant who rescued a newborn baby from a burning house received it, along with the families of 2 fallen NYPD detectives, and a sheriff's deputy from Ohio who rescued a woman from a car in a freezing lake despite not knowing how to swim himself. before he left for the G7 economic summit in Japan. And after that ceremony, President Joe Biden wanted to reassure Americans that negotiations to raise the debt ceiling are moving forward.
The president underscored that all 4 congressional leaders have agreed that the U.S. is not going to default on its debts. ABC's M. Wynn is in Washington with the latest on how those talks are progressing.
With the debt limit deadline just 2 weeks away, President Biden says he's confident in traveling to the G7 summit in Japan because bipartisan teams are working hard to strike a deal in time to avert a U.S. government default.
This negotiation is about the outlines of what the budget will look like, not about whether or not we're going to, in fact, pay our debts.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy still has his doubts.
The only question is whether we have a Biden default or not. It's the president himself.
Joined by dozens of House and Senate Republicans, McCarthy touted how the House GOP has already passed a bill to raise the debt ceiling and cut government spending and are now waiting on the Senate and White House to act.
Do we have obstacles? Yes, we have a big obstacle in the White House.
Biden said some of McCarthy's demands, like tightening work requirements for certain federal benefits like food stamps and Medicaid, are non-starters.
I'm not going to accept any work requirements that's going to impact on medical health needs of people. But it's possible there could be a few others, but not anything of any consequence.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has repeatedly warned that Congress not paying the nation's bills could lead to a global economic catastrophe.
President Biden is cutting his overseas trip short to be back at the White House Sunday for more debt talks if needed, but adds while he's away this week, he'll stay in close contact with the negotiating team. M1, ABC News, Washington.
Check out traffic right now. We're going to take you to 281 in San Pedro first, I believe, and you can see very heavy traffic out here. I believe those are the southbound lanes of 281. Let's also go to 35 in Walsham. This was the area yesterday. There was flooding on the on-ramp from the access road to I-35. None of that right now, but you can see it is still very busy in both directions and a big slowdown at I-35 and Walsham.
Yeah, it's just about always slow. I-35 at rush hour yesterday. Of course, we had the rain to compound that. Today, nothing but sunshine. A beautiful day. A little chance to dry out here. A few fair weather clouds overhead. 88 degrees right now. Dew point is 61. Not overly humid, at least not at the moment. 87, Eagle Pass. 85 in Leon Springs. Panna Maria made it up to 91. 88 Lavernia, and right now in Bernie, 86. Michael, you're 87. So you get the idea. Temperatures in the 80s, gradually falling down into the 70s. By 10 o'clock will be 78 degrees. Midnight, 74. Mostly clear, comfortable, not even much of a breeze out there this evening. And as we mentioned, nothing on the radar screen for now, but we do expect that to change. We'll talk about what's going to cause that, a cold front that's going to affect our weekend, and when the storms could arrive, coming right up.
Happening today, the 41st annual Tejano Conjunto Festival is going to kick off at the Guadalupe Theater in Rosedale Park. You're seeing video here from last year. The festival is 5 days of music and dancing. It continues through Sunday. You can get tickets online and in person at the Guadalupe Latino Bookstore on Guadalupe Street.
And straight ahead on KSAT 12's News at 5, it seems just as soon as you bring groceries home, you're throwing them in the trash. You're heading back to the store to get some more. Coming up, making your food last longer and saving money in the process.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the newsroom with a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. A one-night snapshot of the state of homelessness in San Antonio and Bexar County. It is called the Point in Time Count. Those numbers were released today. What they show coming up at 6 o'clock. Plus, our Jesse Degollado tells us about a Hill Country couple helping migrants waiting in Reynosa through their ministry, Mercy Without Borders. And special testing can help cancer patients find the right treatment immediately, so there's no trial and error. But those tests are not always covered by insurance. How that may be changing very soon. That and more today on the News at 6. We'll see you then.
Myra, thank you. Okay, now let's talk money, because every time you throw out expired or older food, it's like basically throwing money into the garbage. And who could afford to do that?
Yeah, especially now with inflated prices. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz with solutions to save your food and your paycheck.
Trained chef Paul Hope is all about keeping food on the table and out of the trash.
One of my biggest pet peeves is wasting food. Not only is it a total waste of money, it just seems unethical to me. So I go to great lengths to do whatever I can to use stuff up before it goes bad.
Like repurposing leftovers to make several meals for the week.
Beef stew as a future topping on nachos is a classic. Hot dog buns into a dessert, that's another great option. Hamburger buns for grilled cheese.
He says the trick to saving is planning. He also buys in bulk and buys frozen so he can just thaw the portion he needs. And he cooks meat for multiple meals at once.
I keep food as plain as possible, as long as possible, because once you've sort of, altered the flavor of it, you really can't undo that.
Then just season as you go, adding veggies, even those almost past their prime. Where and how you store your food matters too.
For your more expensive grocery items, such as meat and eggs, you want to store them on the lower shelves inside your refrigerator, which tend to be coldest.
Condiments go in the door, which tends to be just a bit warmer. And use your freezer. Something like bread lasts longer when it's frozen. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, whatever you could do to save a few bucks here and there. All right, here's a live look right now over Woodlawn Lake Park. Really nice shot out there, 88 degrees. I was driving into work this afternoon and I was just looking up at the sky and going, oh, gee, it's so pretty.
And look how green that shot is.
Yes, that's the other thing. You're driving around and you're like, hey, people's lawns look pretty good.
Well, it's true. And the medians and the highways and the roads, lush with prairie grass. That's what we like to see. And I was out on a walk today too, and I noticed a few more just different types of wildflowers that have popped up since all the rain. And it's good to see that. The aquifer's up as well. It's going to probably get another little drink in the days ahead. We have a more quiet weather through Friday afternoon, but Friday night is when a cold front arrives, and that's when our storm chances return. Again, Friday night. Take a look at our chances here. Tomorrow, 0%. Tomorrow night, 0%. Actually, clear skies, nothing but sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. Friday, the vast majority of the day, A-OK. I think we'll get through Friday afternoon and Friday evening just fine. It's Friday night. That's when we need to look out for a few thunderstorms to develop along a cold front. And, as is common this time of year, the chance of a few severe thunderstorms. Now, right now, our chances are at 30%, so not a whole lot of coverage with those potential storms as we get into Friday night. All right, here's the big picture. Let's talk about our pattern. Quiet across our neck of the woods right now. Most of Texas quiet. West Texas, even closer to the Panhandle, a little bit of activity there, but not a whole lot. Nothing that's really of any substance other than some good soaking rain. Now, we're watching this upper level swirl near the Baja Peninsula. This is an upper level disturbance, and this isn't going to move very much over the next couple of days. It's really going to stay parked there. But then Big Blue H creeps its way into southern Mexico, not overhead here, southern Mexico. And with that clockwise flow around the high and the counterclockwise flow around that upper low, it's going to funnel some energy from the Pacific through Mexico and right over Texas. Not continuously, but from time to time, we'll get these bursts of upper level energy along with a cold front at the ground that's going to move in and combine with that front. So here's our futurecast. And as I mentioned earlier, Friday looking just fine. Even afternoon outdoor swim practice or soccer practice should be okay. It's after sunset we need to start watching for some thunderstorms. First, in the Edwards Plateau and Northern Hill Country, this computer model is saying around 7 o'clock. Of course, these aren't perfect, but I want to share it with you because it is showing that now we're within time frame of some of the higher res guidance that, it's even hinting at the cold front developing storms somewhere along the cold front. This is showing Hill Country at 9 o'clock. Then that action staying west of San Antonio. This could very well pop up closer to Austin and drift over San Antonio. These models are not perfect, of course, and that's why we always like to tell you that. Don't look at the exact location and placement, just the mere fact that it's on board with popping up a few showers and storms. And with that, we have that severe weather risk isolated for the coastal plain and locations far south of town, but that scattered category of severe storms. So basically a risk 2 out of 5, scale of 1 to 5. This would be a 2 for San Antonio, westward Hondo, Uvalde, and up into the Hill Country as well. So that's what we'll be watching for Friday night. Also, into Saturday and a little bit Sunday, some more rain chances. 63 this morning, not a bad start today. 88 the high. Overall, that 0.07 of an inch of rain, that was actually yesterday in the rain gauge. Nothing out there today. 88 right now, dew point is 61 degrees, and we'll start the day tomorrow. Pleasant again at 67. Then by the afternoon, nothing but sunshine will make it up to 89. With that southeasterly wind at 5 to 10, that'll boost the humidity a little bit. The wind's going to finally start picking up off the Gulf of Mexico again. Notice tomorrow afternoon, Cotulla up to 94 along with Carrizo Springs, Del Rio 92. Those are going to be the warmer locations as usual, but around town will be close to that 90-degree mark. Timberwood Park 88, Elmendorf 89, Von Army and Castroville 90 degrees. And then I mentioned that cool front hitting us Friday night. So we have those storm chances Friday night, even into Saturday, a 30% chance. But look at those temperatures. 81 the high Saturday, and Sunday mostly cloudy. Maybe the off chance of a shower, but only 77 for a high behind that front.
Oh my, thank you.
All right, the excitement's still fresh from
Still
what
around,
happened last night. It's going to carry on until what, June, when the draft is?
Absolutely.
You know, so Peter J. Holt, not only one of the Spurs majority owners, he's their lucky charm.
Absolutely, he's their lucky charm, right? I mean, last year they sent David Robinson there, and I mean, the Spurs weren't favored to win the #1 pick last year anyways, but this year they had a 14% chance, so yes, Peter J. Holt, you are lucky, sir. And what is Wemby bringing to the NBA? Because that's who everybody's chasing, right? Coming up.
The #1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
Those are the words Peter J. Holt and Spurs fans everywhere dreamed about hearing in Big Board Sports. Spurs managing partner Peter J. Holt could not contain his excitement, and he shouldn't have to after the Spurs won the NBA draft lottery last night. R.C. Buford, was able to breathe a little bit easier as well. And what a night for the Spurs, who own the rights to the #1 pick for the third time in franchise history. And all signs point to the Spurs drafting Victor Wembanyama. He watched the lottery live from Paris, France, and found out around 2:30 in the morning that the Spurs won the lottery. So he was asked, what are the Spurs getting in Victor Wembanyama?
Team player. I'm going to make everything to win as many games as I can. And I'm trying to win a ring ASAP, so be ready.
Oh, yeah, the race for Sace is back on, baby. Wemby wants to win a ring as soon as possible, and he's thrilled that the Spurs own the first pick in the draft, in part because he'd love to follow in the footsteps of Tony Parker and Boris Diaw. Here's Peter J. Holt just moments after the Spurs won the night.
Hey, guys, how y'all feeling?
Man, just through the moon. I can't believe it. Just our fans deserve it. Brian deserves it. Our whole front office, man, we have so much talent. The players, our crew, our people are so deserving. Our fans stuck with us. It's going to be unbelievable. Our future was already bright. Now it's going to be through the moon.
Brian picking.
We got 6 weeks. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, a lot of analysis.
Spurs had a 14% chance at the top spot, and they got it. The NBA draft will go down Thursday, June 22nd in Brooklyn, New York, and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. Last night was game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, and Denver dominated this one from start to finish. There was one tie, one lead change, and the Nuggets led by as many as 21 points. The Lakers' largest lead was 2. Denver big man Nikola Jokic recorded his 6th triple-double of these playoffs with 34 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 assists, powering the Nuggets to a 1-0 lead in the series. Game 2 is tomorrow night in Denver. And you know that game was really lost here in San Antonio because of the NBA draft lottery.
That's what I almost said. I almost said, oh, yeah, there was a
there was a game last night?
Playoff game last night.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely got lost in the Wembanyama. Did I say that right?
Wembanyama, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Shadow.
There you go. We'll be right back after this.
He casts a big shadow.
Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for watching the News at 5.
World News is up next. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
See ya.